All right, man, here we are. It's been so long, and I'm really looking forward to getting back in front of the microphone right now. And, I just can't decide what it is that we're going to do with my channel, with, sort of, I don't, like, why can't I just sit in front of you guys and talk, Topo Chico. Why can't I just sit in front of the camera and talk? And I think I can. I don't see why there's any reason why I can't do that. So that's what we're gonna do. I wrote down a couple topics that I wanted to talk about today, and these are just gonna be kind of short form style videos, video podcasts, whatever you want to call them, listenables. And we're just gonna riff and just kind of see what happens, and it'll just be sort of my thoughts on things, be it culture. We'll dip into politics a little bit, but I just don't really I don't care that much about politics. They don't care. The politicians don't care about us, so why should I care about them? And I just kind of want to see like what happens. Like where does this take us? Where do we go from here? Is it cool if I do this like blue kind of light in the corner here? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. I painted the wall behind me black, and I put some LED lights in, although they're not nearly as bright as I wanted them to be. So that's kind of a waste. You can kind of see the hues from above me here and over here, and then obviously I've got the light illuminating me, making me look way paler than I actually am. IRL. But last night I got real into architecture over the weekend, accidentally. One of the beautiful things about YouTube is, one of the bad things and the beautiful things about YouTube is the recommendations that they give you video-wise. And I clicked on this architectural video. I can't even remember who made it. And that, of course, led me down a rabbit hole of other videos of, unique houses and style and, whatever it is, whether it was a Frank Lloyd Wright house or a John Lautner house. Well, it was a John Lautner house. That was the first one I saw, and it was that, like, eccentric guy that sits courtside at the NBA. I don't even remember what his name is. It doesn't matter. John Goldstein or something like that. Jeff Goldstein. And he's got this real kick-ass house in the Hollywood Hills that was made by John Lautner. And I was like, dude, this is incredible. Like, obviously we all know the name Frank Lloyd Wright, and we all know the Falling Water House and a couple other architectural artworks, I guess you could call it, architectural, the famous buildings, whether they're residential locations or commercial buildings, banks, office buildings, airports, whatever it is. River, stop licking. My dog's licking his paws over here. I hope you can't hear it. And I was like, I fell in love. It was the house that was in The Big Lebowski. It was that house, and it's been in several other music videos and other, kind of pop culture. It's in the culture. People know this house. It's called Sheets, I think it's called. The house is, and I saw it, and I just went, dude, this is it. And you always see houses like this, and you think, why aren't all houses like this? Why do we live in these cookie cutter, mass produced piece of shit houses? It's like the song that introduces the intro song to the TV show Weeds, where they go, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, and they all look just the same. They all look just the same. Dude, my neighborhood, it's literally one model of house. It's in different, it's either the left side or the right side or like some sort of weird central side of that model, but it's all the same, dude. It's all the same. It was just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Go pick your lot, choose if you want the right or the left version of this house, and we'll build it there. And, dude, like, I know, dude, I understand that it was, that's how we built the middle class, was copy, paste. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. It doesn't matter if you work at a bank, a marketing company, it doesn't matter. Like, here's your copy paste job, your copy paste house, and your copy paste life. Little pink houses, as John Mellencamp said, the white picket fence, all that stuff. But why do we settle for that? Why do we all look at that house in the video I'm talking about, these architectural masterpieces? Why do we look at those houses and we go, man, like, why don't I live in a house like that? Why aren't houses like this all over my neighborhood? Why aren't we all living in something that makes us feel alive and makes us feel interesting? And I'm sick of, and I got nauseous. I was laying in bed watching this, and I felt sick to my stomach at how homogenous our culture has become, and how really we're so boring. We all want to be interesting and unique and noteworthy, and everybody ends up just being the same. And I don't know if it's fear that keeps us all the same. I don't know if it's just, if that's what's cheap, if you don't have, I don't know. I guess if you don't have what it takes to curate a life of collectible noteworthiness, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it takes. I don't know who's in charge of it all. I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because it's all, everything we do is all boring as shit. And it's everywhere, right? Americana is suburbia. Sure, you got New York and LA and Chicago and Miami and Dallas and shit. And there, these are I guess cultural hubs. I mean, who cares though? Like, they're all cranking out the same shit. And I thought to myself, God, I can't be a part of this anymore. I can't be a part of the people that think that they're interesting because they, I don't know, because their Instagram account has 10,000 followers. It doesn't matter to me. And it got me thinking about this quote I heard. It's not even a quote. It's just something I heard John Mayer say once in a video where he's talking about his watch collection. And he said, the idea of a collector, the idea of somebody that is so interested in something, whether it's cars, watches, wine, artwork, whatever it is, to have such a wide spectrum of interest, such a wide bandwidth of knowledge over the topic of art or of wine or whatever it is that you're collecting. And he talked about doing the Late Show or the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, whatever it is, the show with Jay Leno. And Jay Leno had his own parking spot at the studio. And John Mayer said that he would go do the Tonight Show, and he'd pull up, and in Jay Leno's parking lot, it wasn't uncommon to see like a 1936 fire truck, right? And you get the sense of, okay, well, this guy gets it. Like, this is actually what a collector is. This is actually what an eccentric is. And instead we think that, like, having that Mercedes 300C, C300, like the most boring Mercedes that you can possibly have, somehow makes you interesting. Somehow having, just having the corner lot makes you interesting or something. And it's all garbage. Like, if you look at if you look at the stuff that's actually noteworthy and actually collectible, it lasts. You know, I have two really interesting pieces of, and I'll take pictures of them. I'll put them right here on the screen. I have two really interesting pieces from, oh my God. I got to pause. I'm getting a work phone call. Okay. So sorry about that. Day work. You got to, duty call. You got to, the people that are paying me money calling, you got to answer it. So like I was saying, water's good. I have two really interesting pieces that are from at least the 50s, I think. And dude, they've lasted. Like, it's unbelievable. I have a record player that my grandparents got in 1958, made by Zenith. It's a console record player. So it looks like a piece of furniture that would be in your living room. And excuse me, it's a radio record player combo, and it's never been serviced as far as I know, and it works, dude. And it's moved halfway across the country with me in the back of a car, like not wrapped up or anything, just like we put it in the back of a car and we took the legs off of it and moved it out. So bumps and all, driving thousands of miles, and I put the legs back on and plugged it in and put a record on it, and it works. And I'll put that right here. And then I have a chair that might even be older than this particular record player. It might even be like late 40s, or at least before 1958, and it belonged to my grandfather. And the quality is unbelievable on it, and it's totally like mid-century modern. Both of these pieces are mid-century modern, and they're incredible, dude. They're incredible. It's better than an Ames chair, and I have an Ames chair as well. But my Ames chair, it's not an OG Ames chair. It's a replica. I mean, it's nice. It's definitely a step above like IKEA on the hierarchy of quality furniture. It's not, whatever from some fancy house of furniture in New York or something like that. But it is nice. And it lives next to these items that I just told you about. But everything is, everything today is just garbage, dude. And what makes me really mad about all that and about everything being garbage is that, you have these people that live, quote unquote, we're so blessed. Right? Like that. Think about that stereotype. Like who has the we're so blessed life, right? They live in some bullshit manufactured modern farmhouse. They have a welcome sign on the front porch. They have just all sorts of garbage when you come into their house. And I don't want to come across as cynical. I'm not a cynical person, but like what happened to us? What happened to the individual? And I wrote down some stuff here. Like where just what happened to us? And we all want to be unique, but we're all so homogenous in our pursuit of being unique. It's unbelievable how you set off to not be your father and then you turn into your father. Like it's remarkable how that sort of stuff works. And I watched, so after I saw that video of that John Lautner house, I watched a video of this guy's, I guess you'd call it a triplex apartment, a tri-level apartment in New York, in Soho. He lived off of Broadway and Houston. I don't even know if those streets intersect, but whatever. It clearly was the Soho area of New York. I've been there. I lived there for 3 months. This guy's name is Mark Ballet, and he was the art director for Andy Warhol's magazine in like the 70s and 80s. And dude, his house was unbelievable, dude. unbelievable. Like, it wasn't that it was like some crazy architectural dream, like living in a Frank Lloyd Wright or a John Lautner house. But it was what he had, photograph after photograph after painting after photograph on the wall. And like he had been there, like he was part of the lexicon. He was part of the culture of New York in arguably its heyday, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in New York in forever, and I only lived there for 3 months. But you could just tell that like the care that went into curating this dude's house was remarkable, dude. It was remarkable, man. Every piece had a story. Every picture, every piece of furniture, even the drapes that went over the windows had a story behind them. It was unbelievable. And you just go, where is that today? Where are the guys, like, who puts, like, where's the care into what you own? And it's not there. It's not there anymore. And that's like, and he had this guy, Mark Bell. He had all of his, or at least the noteworthy, Andy Warhol's magazine was called, what was it called? I think it was called Interview. Hang on, I got to look it up. Andy Warhol magazine. Here we go. Yeah, it was called Interview, dude. It was called Interview. And this guy's name, I'm gonna look it up. Andy Warhol magazine. Mark Ballet. Here we go. Yes, dude. You guys have to see this video. It's 30 minutes long on YouTube, and you'll be enthralled the whole time. And this guy Mark, he had like all of his, I don't know if I'm sure he had a copy of every single magazine that he was a part of. He was the art director for the magazine for however long. Let's see, from 76 until 87. So for 11 years, he was the art director for Andy Warhol's magazine. And he had to have had every copy. He had to have every copy of the magazine. So he had probably 122 plus copies of the magazine. And you look at the magazine, he's showing him. He's like, he gets him out. I don't have anything here to use as a prop. He gets the magazines out while he's doing the tour of his house, and he's like, "Oh, we did that for this cover shoot. I remember we did this and this centerfold spread here. We did this and whatever. Here's the campaign we were working on now, and blah blah blah." And he's holding the magazines, and they're holding up. Like you can see that the pages of the magazine are like a quality, an absolute quality, piece of paper that these things were made on. And it just seemed like a place you could just browse, And I think that's part of the problem. We can't browse anymore. We can't, dude, when you open up a coffee table book, right? All you're doing is browsing. You open it up, and it's like I remember I was just in Las Vegas a couple months ago. I was with some friends, and one of them we went to Breitling, and one of them bought a watch. And when you buy a watch at a Breitling store, at least in New York, or I'm sorry, in Vegas, they had like this nice like buyer's room that you would go into the back, and it was like there was like nice leather it was like kind of a man cave, even though it was a woman that bought the watch, but you can tell like their demographic is like mainly dudes, and like there was a leather couches and like a big screen TV and this enormous floor to ceiling bookshelf that was like nothing but like really interesting coffee table books. right? And when you open, you're not seeking anything in a coffee table book. You're wandering. When you open a coffee table book, you're wandering through the images, the blurbs of information that are there. You're wandering through an adventure, and you don't know what you're going to find. And there was this coffee table book that was the 50 best places to surf before you die. And I love surfing. I'm a big fan. I'm not the best at it. I don't live anywhere near a beach, unfortunately. But anytime I'm near a beach, I try to surf. I opened this book and I was like, oh my God, dude, this is incredible. And you got the sense that you could just browse, right? You could just peruse for information. The same way that when you have a volume or a series of encyclopedias, right? It's like if have you ever picked up a dictionary just because it was on the table and you just kind of open it and you're like, oh, like enthralled, like what is the definition of that word, or whatever it is. And an encyclopedia, a coffee table book, you can just browse. You don't even know what you're looking for, but it's there. There's magic there. There's gold to be found in them hills, boys. And you look, and it's magic that you find. And you can't do that anymore. Like, you can go look things up on Wikipedia, and then you can click on the hyperlinks that take you to a new page and blah, blah, blah. But it's not the same as just browsing. And I feel like when the option to just browse was more or less taken away from us, so went with it our individuality and our culture. Because the type of person that just browses is a different type of person than somebody that looks at an Instagram feed and says, give me that, copy paste, insert into my life, boom, wash our hands of it, we're clean, we're good to go. And that, I think, is a real, real problem. And I think the sooner we get back to us being individuals, don't curate your life to look good on Instagram. Curate your life to be interesting and thoughtful. And I think overall we'd be better. So this was an experiment in the new form of talking head show that I would like to put together. What? Dude, it says the SIM card stopped recording because it's fucking full. God damn it.